Hi there, it's Brendan Howe here from Techify, and I'm here to talk about something that I'm very passionate about: phone systems. That may kind of surprise you, may make you think I'm a little bit crazy, but let me explain. So, I have a strong belief with phone systems that phone systems are kind of like cable television. So business phone systems, that is. So with cable television, things changed pretty quick, right? We changed from an environment where we would turn on the TV, flip through the channels, try and find something to watch, that sort of thing. And we changed to an environment where everything was on demand. We were streaming, we were getting our content, we were consuming our content in way different ways. So same thing has happened with communications with our businesses. We're no longer sitting just at a desk, picking up a phone and there to answer it. We're moving all over the place. We're communicating with people in different ways. We're doing online meetings. We're using video. We're working from all sorts of different places. But the problem is most phone systems haven't kept up. Like most phone systems are stuck in the old days of having a phone sitting on your desk, as opposed to being able to be more compatible with you being able to work wherever in the world you are, whether you're working from home, you're working from the office, that sort of stuff. And especially during the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on, we're seeing all sorts of people that are challenged because their traditional phone systems, even whether they're hosted phone systems or even worse, if they're on premise, like the old PBX type of systems that are in the office, they no longer have access to those when they're working remotely, and they have to like dial in and check their voicemail or ridiculous things like that. So here's what I wanted to just give a bit of an overview of Microsoft 365 Business Voice. And so what we're finding is tons and tons of people are using Microsoft Teams, and like millions and millions of new users have been added as everybody's working, or as a lot of people, a big portion of businesses are working remotely. So people are using Teams. And people are starting to look into, well, if I'm using Teams for all this sort of messaging, online meetings, collaboration, stuff like that, why couldn't I just use Teams for my phone system? Well, that's where Microsoft Voice comes in. It's basically an add-in, and it adds the capability out of the box. Microsoft Teams, you can call other people that have Microsoft Teams within your team and outside world and stuff like that. Well, if you add Microsoft Voice to Teams, then you can dial numbers too. So even if somebody doesn't have Teams, or you're calling somebody's cell phone or that sort of thing, it gives you the ability to do that. So the world that we're living in obviously has changed, and we've gone from a world where everybody was just sitting around working by themselves to we've all these different ways that we've got to collaborate, work with other people, be able to share information, and be much more productive. And that is what Microsoft calls intelligent productivity. Here's some interesting things about how the workplace is changing. So 80% of people's time is actually spent collaborating right now. There's 4 times as many devices per user. So your average staff member has all sorts of different devices. You know, we have our computers, we've got our tablets, we've got our phones, we've got other devices. By this year, well, now as we go through COVID-19, it's probably more than 72% of workers are working remotely. But the trend was moving to more and more people are working remotely. And then you have this challenge, this multi-generational challenge, where there's a lot of businesses where there's 5 different generations that are working together in the workforce. So you've got your young people who are great at technology, and then you sort of go through the different generations, and you have some other folks that are a little bit older and may struggle a little bit more with their technology. The sort of move to cloud telephony that I was talking about here is kind of a bit of a sense. You go from being tied to a desk phone to being able to call from any device, any location. Instead of having to go back and forth between multiple applications, you get unified communications in one app. That's what we're talking about with Microsoft Voice, is simplifying things. That amount of money, like I know in our business, as we move to Microsoft Voice, we're saving hundreds of dollars a month because we move away from the big telecom costs and long distance charges and all that sort of stuff to a cloud-based phone system that saves us money. And if we can reduce the number of vendors that we're dealing with, man, I just find it makes life easy for all of us. All right, so let me tell you a little bit more about, and again, I'm not doing a big sales pitch here. What I thought, we really like Microsoft Voice. We've been testing it out within our office, and we've been asked about it from different clients. So I wanted to do an overview and just give people a bit of a sense. And if you want some more information about it, just reach out to us and let us know. So the more we work in Office 365, the integration and having everything together is really driving a lot of productivity and helping us out quite a bit. We want to be able to easily call and intelligently call people. Like, we're moving to a world where we're just calling people based on clicking on their name and not even worrying about phone numbers or stuff like that. You remember when we used to actually remember somebody's phone number? Gone are the days that you actually remember. I think I know my wife's phone number, and that's about it. And the rest is just programmed in. And then all this stuff is powered through Microsoft's cloud. They've invested billions and billions of dollars in building this great cloud, reliable, secure, all that sort of stuff. So here's what the app looks like within Teams. You just hit the call button, and you have that opportunity. It's got built-in audio conferencing, so you can have a external call-in number when you do organized Teams meetings. You can get rid of, if you wanted to get rid of your web access or go to meetings or whatever else you're using. It's got the ability to do. As part of it, you've got the opportunity. I get asked this a little bit. What is Teams calling? Do you need to have a desk phone? Well, if you wanted to have a desk phone, you want to have hardware, or you want to have something in a conference room, that's no problem. There's like these gobs and gobs of different devices and hardware that you can use. Or what you can do is you can use a headset and just put a headset or microphone on, or just use the video and the audio that's right within, built into your computer. There's a lot of different options for doing it. And then there's your voicemails that have voicemail transcription that are powered by Microsoft's AI engines. And then you can do things like real-time captioning in meetings, which is kind of neat. It's not perfect. Sometimes the captioning or the transcriptions are a little bit funny, but it's going to get better and better. The service enterprise grade calling, it connects into your traditional phone networks. You do so that you can do 911 calls and all that sort of stuff. It's all managed through Microsoft 365, Office 365, and then it gives you the ability to work with the same partner, IT company, whoever you're working with that's managing your Office 365, and it can really simplify and reduce costs and stuff like that. So if you look at the features, one of the things is I've gone through this, and as we're torture testing it in our own environment, most of the stuff that you would expect from a phone system, whether it's your traditional PBX or other hosted phone systems, you have here call park, call forwarding, call hold, all that sort of stuff. You establish hunt groups so that if somebody calls in, call queuing, there's all sorts of monitoring, analytics, all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty robust system. So I'd be surprised if there were things that weren't that you had that were in your phone system right now that weren't available through Microsoft Voice. This is a bit of a sense of the different devices that you can use, but you can add individual devices. You can put meeting room devices. The devices that are available right now for meeting rooms have really come down in cost. You remember the days of like you had to go out and spend $20,000 on a Cisco Presence type of system if you wanted to have decent video conferencing in an office. Now you're spending hundreds or kind of $1,000 or that sort of stuff to get some pretty decent stuff, and then you can continue to get higher and higher end stuff. But it's quite reasonable to get this sort of stuff set up. Just a couple other bits of information here. Microsoft has become a leader, according to Gartner, according to Forrester, and what they call the Unified Communications Magic Quadrant. So this is where they sort of place versus some other big companies. So they're being recognized for quite a bit of innovation, technological advancement. Give you a bit of a sense of the pricing of this. You can put in place, this is a per user type of pricing. So if you put in place without a calling plan, it's $15 a month. With a calling plan, which gives you 3,000 minutes domestic calling per user a month, is $25 a user. It gives you, you can add an international calling if you need to, if you have people that are calling, or you can just do it on sort of like buy credits type of basis. So obviously you need to be in Office 365 to be able to use this. You need your entry point is having people using Teams, get people up to speed on Teams and ready for it. And then you can do a 30-day trial and you can configure it and get it going and understand how it works. And then you can go from there. So happy to answer more questions. Please reach out if you have any questions on this. If you're interested in Microsoft Voice or Teams, or there's anything else that we can do to help you with remote collaboration, especially in these difficult times for everybody. Thanks for joining today. Have a great day.